Insight then on Gupshup. This is a company that's actually a platform that offers artificial intelligence for conversational messaging services for all kinds of enterprises. It actually entered the coveted $1 billion club in the year 2021 and has seen pretty strong growth. We're connecting then with Beerud Sheth, who's the CEO and the co-founder at Gupshup. So much to talk about, but let's just start off at the very beginning, because it was in, I think a university dorm in which the idea actually came about, or while you guys were studying. So just walk us through what exactly inspired the idea, because back then the concept of AI technology, chatting, WhatsApp kind of formats were really not being talked about.
Yeah, so we were incubated in IIT Bombay's incubator Sign, and I wasn't studying there at that time. I had graduated from ITB, but we did start at the incubator. And the key insight was that with the mobile revolution happening, the only way to reach billions of users was through messaging, SMS at that time. And SMS was very ubiquitous, but it wasn't very rich. But we built out a service, we scaled it up. In the beginning, it was just sort of these one-way notifications. But when WhatsApp set up its business APIs, you could do actually two-way conversations, right? So that was the first big step function. And then secondly, when large language models came about over the last few months, that really enabled sort of intelligent two-way conversations. So it was a series of things, right? From basic SMS messaging to WhatsApp messaging to AI-powered messaging, but it's really incredibly powerful right now.
Okay, so just walk us through, some of your big clients, how many enterprises you're helping with in terms of their messaging, and, this is across what mediums?
Yeah, so well, firstly, we enable messaging across SMS, WhatsApp, RCS, and then many other channels like Telegram, Skype, and so on. We have about 45,000 customers worldwide. But in India, some of the largest banks, the largest e-commerce players, retail, fintech companies, and so on are all our customers. And they use, so for example, let's say Kotak Bank and many others, they enable almost all the capabilities that you would see in an ATM would now be available through WhatsApp itself, or Flipkart or Myntra or Meesho, and some of these large customers. They enable lots of, for example, deals and offers and personalized offers and so on. Maybe even do transactions and payments and package delivery, things like that. And then beyond that, we have fintech companies doing lending like use cases. You have hotels doing check-in, check-out, airlines, for booking tickets, upgrading flights, and so on, and many other examples, right? I think really the big idea is that every business, can, instead of engaging with consumers through a website or an app, they're finding that through WhatsApp, it's so much easier and better and more convenient because that's where the consumers are. That's where they're spending all their time. So you can meet them on their terms and engage with them.
Okay, and clearly you guys are taking technology to the next level because you're now enabling UPI payments on feature phones. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what this entails?
Yeah, I think, so firstly, we want to, our mission is to leverage messaging to reach every user on every device. Our messaging sort of software and made it work even on these feature phones, which are simpler devices, and they have limited memory and limited capacity. So it was a lot of hard work to make it work. But once you put that messaging capabilities in there, then we use that to enable payments or enable UPI on these feature phone devices. And we won a hackathon with years ago, and then we've been working, of course, with NPCI, with the Airtel Payments Bank, and finally we launched it on Nokia HMD's smart feature phone device. And I think this is the first time that feature phone users now can conduct digital payment transactions on these devices. To be clear, there were some earlier attempts using maybe USSD or some other things, but they were very awkward and difficult to use because you had to punch in a lot of numbers on a time. With the native experience that we've built, it's much easier, it's much simpler, and we think it should get adopted a lot more.
Okay, let's talk about financials as well. And you guys are profitable, right? Can you just walk us through your revenue run rate and what you closed the last year with and what you're targeting down the line?
Sure. So I think, last calendar year we did about 225 or 250 million. It's a little hard because the currency keeps depreciating, but we've been growing a lot. And, last year we grew about 60 to 70%. And this year we're projecting to have sort of similar growth rate as well. So business is doing well. Yes, we are profitable. And, we've been managing a business prudently for a long time, actually. So we expect to, drive profitable growth at scale, right? So, and the revenues are growing because there's a huge need for businesses that are trying to digitize and find it very effective to leverage these conversational capabilities to engage with their customers. And then, as the revenues grow, as they adopt newer and newer features that we are enabling, putting in AI, layering on a lot of intelligence and so on, that drives margins as well, and therefore it drives profitability as well.
Take us through what you're making of the current funding slowdown as well. At a time when it's been a tough environment, to say the least, for a lot of startups. Have you guys felt the heat? Is that one of the main reasons as well that you're pushing the IPO plans?
So, well, two separate things. I mean, yes, the funding slowdown, it affects companies that are not yet profitable, that need to go back into the market for additional funding, and that's when the conversations become very, very difficult. I think, so I don't think we've been directly affected because we are profitable, but some of our customers, indeed, they have to be careful with how they use their available capital, and if they have to go out, it can be challenging for them. As far as we are concerned, no, I mean, our business, continues to grow because even in this environment, as customers are trying to reduce cost, one way to do it, for example, is to reduce their physical branch locations or to reduce their call center expenses and do everything through messaging, which is what we provide. So if anything, our revenues continue to grow, even in a cost constrained market kind of thing, So our business has been growing steadily. We continue to provide very essential capability to businesses to drive more efficiency, to cut cost, and also to continue to grow their business. So in our case, no, that has had no bearing on our IPO plans. I think that those have gotten delayed because investors are watching, what the Federal Reserve in the US does with the interest rate increases, what's happening with the Ukraine war. And when there is so much uncertainty in the market, they're not looking at any public offerings. So not just us, but there's like hundreds of companies that have been delayed in their IPO plans. And that's okay. I mean, it's not like we are desperate to go out. We'll do it when the circumstances are right, when investors are focusing on it and ready to look at it. So I think it'll sort itself out. Just maybe one last thing I'll say is, in general, IPO markets, they don't stay closed for this long, right? So who knows? By next year, it should be potentially in a better place.
Okay. And where are the markets currently that you are seeing demand from? Is it primarily Southeast Asia? And how are you looking to expand your geographical reach as well?
Yeah, so I think we focus on conversational experiences. When you think about it, the US and the developed markets like US and Europe are very web-centric, but all the emerging markets like India, Latin America, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Africa, these are all very heavy. These are mobile-first ecosystems, messaging-centric ecosystems, and therefore businesses and brands in these regions are using these conversational experiences and chatbots that Gupshup provides. So for us, India, of course, is our core market that we started with and grown from. But Latin America is growing, one of the fastest growing other markets. Middle East is also growing well, where Gupshup has had a lot of traction. Southeast Asia sort of after that, and Africa sort of lagging further behind. But we are expanding very rapidly across all of these regions, and it's become a very global operation.
Okay. You had mentioned at the get-go as well that you guys were pretty active on the acquisition front. Are there any more acquisitions on the anvil, and how have they worked out for you so far?
Well, the acquisitions that we've done so far have worked out very well. It was a lot of work because typically, the acquisition announcement goes out, but the post-merger integration takes a lot of energy and effort in integrating teams, aligning them, and then also integrating the technology and the products. But given that it's been about 9 months since the last one, I think we've been able to integrated. We now have the most advanced product. The breadth and depth of capabilities that we can offer to our customers is amazing and really powerful. So we are excited about what we did and how it's worked out. Going forward, we feel that our product is fairly complete for now. But maybe we'll look at expanding market access, meaning helping us grow faster in some of these other regions and so on. So we'll evaluate. But it's a case by case decision. So there's nothing to announce at the moment. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. And finally, just wanted to get in an outlook on how you're dealing with competition and what the outlook is on continuing to maintain your market share.
What has worked well for us is to focus more on customers than on competitors. And what I mean by that is, Gupshup has built a reputation for being the innovation leader in this conversational messaging space. We are almost always the first ones. We were the first ones to WhatsApp, even before that to bot platform and Facebook Messenger. We were the first ones to build out this AI and Autobot builder and to build out this whole sort of CX, the conversational experience platform. So our customers, they see a lot of value in Gupshup providing the best capabilities, the fastest, the earliest, so that in turn they can get a competitive advantage in the market and so on.